Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa, and today I'm going to be talking about the rest of the books that I read in the month of October. So October was a huge DNF month for me. If you guys watched my first wrap-up video for the month, there was quite a few books that I DNF'd that were on my hashtag Read It or Lose It challenge, and I just decided I didn't want to read them. So, you know, it is what it is. So that trend is continuing in the second half of the month. I'm not sure what's going on with me lately. I think I'm kind of sort of in a reading slump-ish. And then no books sound good to me. So the ones that I think I might DNF, I'm just ending up DNFing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I will get out of it, because this weird reading mood I've been in is not satisfactory to me. So anyway, so the first book that I ended up DNFing in the second half of October was The Duchess, and this is by Danielle Steele. So I started reading this book and I thought, oh, this should be kind of interesting because, you know, we're talking about the aristocracy and back in the day, and it just wasn't. The character was so bland and so boring, and even like 20 to 50 pages in, I was just so bored, and I'm like, yep, nope, I'm not reading this. And I just don't like this author's writing style at all, and I think that's most of it, is just the writing style just put me off. So yeah, definitely not interested in continuing that one. Thankfully that was a used book that I got at my local bookstore, so it's not, you know, like I spent full price on that. So the next one that I DNF'd is Elizabeth of York by Alison Weir. Now, I love Alison Weir's Six Queens series, and I think they're amazing. This book, not so much. So I started reading it, and it's more like a nonfiction book, and I don't do nonfiction books, especially about the Tudor time period. I do not like the way that it is written. I don't like the whole non-fiction feel. It's not my style. So as soon as I started reading it and figured out that's what it was, I decided to put it down. So then the next one is The Duchess by Amanda Foreman, and this book, I have seen the movie for this and I thought the movie was amazing, so I thought, oh, the book is going to be really good. Well, it turns out this book is written as a nonfiction. Yeah. And you guys know, I just told you how I feel about nonfiction. So yeah, definitely not interested in reading a nonfiction book about it. I'll just go watch the movie again. And then, of course, the last one that I finally DNF'd is The Winter King by Bernard Cromwell. Now, I don't know. I thought I might like this because it's like a King Arthur story retelling, but I just couldn't get into it. It's just, I think it was just the author's writing style I just couldn't get into. So sadly, I ended up DNFing this one also. So the first book that I actually did end up finishing in the second half of October was, of course, Ember Queen by Laura Sebastian. And this is the third book in the, I don't even know what series it's called. Probably the Ash Princess series. Anyway, so this is the third book in the Ash Princess series. This is the conclusion, and you know, it concluded. It's kind of still reminds me of any other, you know, YA book. It was good. I enjoyed the story. There were some unpredictable moments which I liked, but ultimately the book ended up kind of predictable. So, you know, good series. Would I reread it? Definitely not. So yeah. So the next one I picked up was Beauty and the Beast, and this is the book of the movie, so it follows right along with that. There are a little bit more additions to it to kind of give you like, okay, what characters are feeling, what they're thinking in their heads versus just straight up what you see on the movie screen. But ultimately this was a quick, fun, fast read. Of course, I've seen Beauty and the Beast like a million times, but it is really good, and this book definitely did not disappoint. So the next book that I ended up finishing, of course, was Jim Butcher's Battleground, which is the 16th book, 17th book in the Harry Dresden series. I don't know, I can't keep track anymore. Anyway, I did not read it in this format. I just ended up picking this one up. It's not a signed edition, but I'm supposed to have a signed book plate coming for it. But anyway, so yeah, that's why I ended up buying this in physical format. But I did read it on ebook like I've read all my other Harry Dresden books. So this one was basically just a huge long battle. And I get it. I understand. I wasn't really bored through the battle scenes, surprisingly, but it just kind of got really repetitive after a while. It was just running from one battle to another, to another, to another. But oh my god, like, so many things happened that I did not think Jim Butcher would go there, but he went there. So yeah, like, somebody really close to Harry dies, and I was really shocked at who it was. But, I mean, I'm not 100% sad about that death, but, you know, it is what it is. If you know, you know. Anyway, so this is the most recent release in the Harry Dresden series, of course. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I know that Kayla over at Kraken to a Good Book had said this too, that she felt like Battleground and Peace Talk should have been kept as one book, and I agree wholeheartedly, because where Peace Talks left off and Battleground starts, it literally feels like there is no break. It's like the books should have been smushed together and it should have just been a chapter. So I don't really understand, I guess, where Jim Butcher's like, oh, they told me that if I published this, the book would be $50 because it would be so huge. Well, I'm sorry, but look at these chunkers back here. I didn't pay $50 for these, and these are over 1,000 pages. And between this and Peace Talks, would not have been 1,000 pages. I'm just saying. So either he's full of it or the publishing house is full of it. I'm just saying. Yeah, I really thought that they should have been one book, but I guess if you're reading them back to back instead of having to wait between reading them, then it's probably fine. But yeah. So the next book that I ended up picking up was an audiobook, and that is Morningstar by Pierce Brown. And this is the third book in the Red Rising series. And this one is like the climactic book of the series. Because there's a first part and a second part to it. So the first three books are in the first saga, and then there's supposed to be 3 books in the second saga. So this one is wrapping up the first saga, which was really good. It follows right along with the same vein, you know, war, terrorism, blah blah blah. There's quite a few main characters that died in this one, and I was sad about that. So you know, I really enjoyed it. I do enjoy this series. I do think that Darrow could use some emotional depth to him, but other than that, you know, I really enjoy it. So then the last and final book that I ended up picking up was a poetry book by Katie Wismer. She also has a channel over here on YouTube, which is how I found her and how I came to be reading her books. So her newest poetry release is called Poems for the End of the World, and I think I literally read it in maybe 20 minutes just sitting there one night. This poetry book is, like, I felt so seen and so heard with some of these that I highlighted a whole bunch of stuff in, you know, because I read it on Kindle, so I did the highlighting thing. So I highlighted a whole bunch of stuff that just really spoke to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Poetry is not usually my jam. I do not read poetry books generally, but this one was wow. It was great. I think it definitely helps if you know the person from seeing them like on YouTube, or, you know, you at least have a little background or insight into who they are as a person before you read their poetry, to kind of understand where they're coming from with it. And it makes a lot more sense contextually to me, having followed her on YouTube for a while. So I think that's probably a must if you're going to pick up this book. But anyway, so those were all of the books that I ended up reading in the second half of October, and all the books that I ended up DNFing in the second half of October. Like I said, I'm kind of sort of in a reading slump, and I don't know what I'm going to do for November. So I guess we'll see, because I already put my November TBR out there, and I'm not entirely sure that I'm even going to start it. So we shall see. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.